Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candy.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks,
Bumps,
and Bruises.
We gather together
to ask the Lord's blessings. You know, you asked me one time. By the way, this is Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises. It's Melody and Gabe. Somehow Candy got some time off.
Yeah.
And you and I didn't. You asked me, like, what are the top 5 Thanksgiving songs?
Well,
That's what I'm saying to you.
It is, because what made me think of that is everyone gets on a tizzy if you start listening to Christmas music before Thanksgiving. And I'm like, well, then what are your Thanksgiving songs? Name them to me.
We need more Thanksgiving songs.
We truly do. We've got a great one.
We do, and we'll play it at the end of this podcast. It's called The Thanksgiving Song by Ben Rector. It is fabulous. And so we'll play that like at the very end of this podcast. But it is Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises, and we're talking about Thanksgiving. So, Gabe, let me ask you this. Does your family, and I'm not talking about just you and Leslie and Tucker and now baby Claire, but your extended family, do you have traditions that you are still keeping for Thanksgiving?
Well, some of them are, yes. Since I moved away, all my family's still in West Virginia. So some years I'm not able to participate. And, holidays take on different shape as the years go on. As you know, Melody, I mean, once someone in the family passes away, the location changes a lot of times, and that just, sometimes holidays don't feel so much like that specific holiday anymore because of it. So because of that, on my mom's side of the family, after Mom all passed away, then my cousin and his wife host Thanksgiving at their house. And that became a new tradition, and it's a lot of fun. I look forward to that every year. We're not going to be able to be there this year, unfortunately. And then on my dad's side of the family, Mom all passed away a couple years ago, and that just, nothing's really, she was the glue to the family. Nothing's really stuck together. So a lot of times, holidays don't feel like anymore. So some of those traditions are there, but just not... It's just not the same,
I get that, because my mom did Thanksgiving, and for my whole life, we did Thanksgiving at my mom's house, and she would not let anybody cook.
Oh, like no side dishes or anything?
She did everything. She said, this is my Thanksgiving gift to you.
Wow.
And now I will say in the last couple of years before she passed away, I insisted.
Sure, yeah.
So now it's been passed on to me. So now I'm the host of Thanksgiving. And I love doing that because, I just love, entertaining family and friends at my house by cooking and all that. So I don't mind, but you're right. It's just a different feel of me getting in the car and going to Mom and Dad's for Thanksgiving, and now everybody coming to my house for Thanksgiving. So I totally get that. And we know, too, I'll just stop here and say this. Holidays, we talk a lot about holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and all the things that go along with those holidays. But for some, holidays are really tough because there is that so-called empty chair that is there. And so, I'd just like to insert here that our hearts are with you as well, because when someone passes away and is no longer with us, it does make the day different.
Oh, absolutely.
It just makes the day different. It also makes it different when a new baby comes into the family and makes it louder.
Yes. Yes, it does.
But just know that we love you and we're thinking about you for those where holidays are just tough. They're just tough to get through. So is there a particular Thanksgiving dish for you, Gabe, that I'll say it this way? It's just not Thanksgiving without...
This dish gets a lot of hate. I'm going to throw it out there. This dish is not a typical favorite for a lot, but for me...
You don't have liver, do you?
No. On no occasion, ever, holiday or every normal day.
Ever in your life?
No. Cranberry salad. Now, my mom makes a cranberry salad that is just so good. It's not, straight out of the can. She makes it. And also... equally as good on my list of it's not Thanksgiving without is my mom's sweet potato casserole. She does a great sweet potato casserole. It's one of those, it just tastes like it's one of your main dishes, but it tastes like dessert as you're eating it with your meal. And maybe that's why I like it so much.
It tastes like Thanksgiving.
It does.
It's
it really
one of those
does.
dishes that I don't know about you, but I really never have that except for at Thanksgiving.
It's really funny because there's so many things, we have available to us. It's not like you have to wait for something to be in season anymore.
Like
really.
Turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
I never fix turkey.
And in December, you can go get a fresh pineapple at the grocery store. It's crazy. Like, you don't have to really wait for things to be in season, but it's funny how we do only make things, like you can make sweet potato casserole for Easter.
Yeah.
But we don't.
I guess it's something kind of neat about that, in that you look forward to it, and it is just, it tastes like Thanksgiving, like I said. Yeah. And it's just like, I'm not supposed to have that except at Thanksgiving. Going back to your cranberry salad situation and how some people just do not like congealed salads of any kind. But I do a cranberry dessert and or side dish. It could be either. For those that don't like cranberries, it's a good alternative. It doesn't jiggle.
But I do.
And it doesn't come out of a can. But it's cranberries and apples. You got to put a lot of sugar in those. Put those in a dish, and then you make like a brown sugar pecan crumble to go over the top of it. And then bake that, and I mean, it is delicious.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and it could be a dessert. I've taken it to Thanksgiving dinners at my church before, and it's funny because you walk in with your food and you kind of give it over to the people in charge of the meal. And at times they put it on the dessert table, and at times they put it on where all the side dishes are. So I always like to see who thinks what about that dish. But I think for me, in my family, there's two things. It would not be Thanksgiving without, and both of these have to do with my mom, who just always did this. It's traditional, is the chicken and dumplings. Now, we have turkey, but I make homemade dumplings. I mean, roll them out, flour, cut them, the whole thing. And we do a big pot of chicken and dumplings for one of our dishes. And the other is my mom's pound cake, which she was known for. Yeah. She just made a fantastic pound cake. So those are two dishes that are more sentimental, I think, than anything.
I've heard you talk about the dumplings before, because you make those like a week or so ahead of time.
Yeah, I made them last week. Yeah.
And then the day of, you don't have, I mean, it's prepared. It's still homemade, but you don't have to go through the trouble that day.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder, Melody Vaughn.
I try because I do so much other cooking. But here's the cool thing about that. I buy a big hen. My dad likes to use hens instead of chickens for these. He thinks it tastes better. And he does the cooking of that hen, pulling off all the meat for me.
I thought you were going to say pulling off all the feathers.
No.
Like, this is fresh.
Well, I mean, it's frozen. But he'll cook the chicken and shred it for me and freeze that. He does it ahead of time too. So he'll freeze the chicken that he takes off the bone, and then he takes the broth and puts it in a big container, and he puts that in the freezer. So the wonderful thing about this is that on Thanksgiving Day, I go ahead and thaw everything out, and about 30 minutes before everybody gets there, I get the broth going. I put the chicken in the broth, and then I drop in the noodles.
Well, there you go.
And yeah, that's super, because it is a little bit of a time-consuming dish that I would not have time to do. So, well, let's move to this topic, because I know that we all have so many things to be thankful for. So many. In fact, I was thinking this morning that I am so undeserving of how good God has been to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we all are.
So undeserving. So that I could sit here for days and tell you all the things that I'm thankful for. But let me ask you, and I think I'm going to know the answer, and I think you're going to know my answer, but I'll let you answer it anyway. Right now, in this season of your life, what are you particularly thankful for?
Definitely my family. Of course, we know we just had a little girl born a few weeks ago. Happy, healthy, and that's always in the back of your mind. You trust God, you know what He's doing, but you just can't help but have a little bit of, I hate to call it anxiety or worry, but I guess it is through a pregnancy. Yes, that the moment that baby is born, things are going to change forever anyways, but things could really change because you don't know if there's going to be a healthy baby or if there's going to be something that's going to just consume you for the next months or even years.
The rest of your life.
For a health concern and needs that this child would have. So very thankful for a healthy baby, both my children happy, healthy, loving life. And so I'm very thankful for that this year. And then our whole family in general, it's just wonderful having family. And my in-laws are great, and we just
everybody gets along.
I'm very blessed, and I have friends. I feel like I have just such incredibly close friends that I can count on, and friends and family that are just like top for me. Like, I'll be just as happy living in a cabin in the middle of nowhere with no electricity. Well, I do like electricity. I'll forfeit some modern conveniences, but honestly, like, I don't need stuff. I don't need the latest and greatest. I don't need gadgets. I have wonderful friends and family.
What's interesting about that, if you already feel that way, the older you get, you will become even more minimal.
Oh, like the simple life is for me.
The older I have gotten, the less I want, you know. Well, for me, you know what I'm going to say. Mine is family, too. I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful for opportunities the Lord has given me. I'm thankful for my church, family, you know, so many things. But right in this season, I have 2 brand new grandbaby boys, Benson and Charlie, and I could just eat them up, y'all. Eat them up. They are precious and, again, healthy, happy little babies. And one's got dark hair, one's got blonde hair, one's got dark eyes, one's got blue eyes. You know, it's just they're so opposite in how they look.
Funny.
But just so very precious. And this will be our first Thanksgiving as a family with the 2 grandbabies, you know, sitting around the table with us, so to speak.
They were just born a few months apart, weren't they?
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. It's feast or famine at my house. Feast or famine. It's everything in my life is either everything's at one time or there's just a lull.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. But well, we're also thankful for you. If you're listening to this, bless you.
Right.
Because it's, you know,
it's our ramblings.
There's a lot going on. It's Thanksgiving week. There's a lot happening, but we're thankful for you. But we thought to end our podcast today on Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises, it'd be a great time, Gabe, to play. You and I both love this.
Yes, it's by Ben Rector. So typically we play, you know, Southern gospel artists. He's not a gospel artist, but this song, I think, just touches everyone. He wrote it in 2020, and you'll, knowing that when you hear the lyrics to the song, you're like, oh, I can understand that now.
Right.
But it's very applicable even now, not just how difficult 2020 was, but it's a wonderful song and just being thankful. And it just, when the first few notes hit, it immediately feels nostalgic.
Yeah.
It just feels, I don't know. You just
like
get,
Thanksgiving.
Yes, and you just get those warm fuzzies the first few notes that you hear, and it's like, all right, I can just, you know, I can ease into this and love what I'm hearing. Yeah,
and if you listen to Joy FM a lot already, then you've heard this song during the season. But so from our podcast, Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises, we say Happy Thanksgiving.
Familiar highways lined with leaves turn brown, making my way back into my hometown. Funny how this all looks different, but it feels the same. Like how life never stops changing, but some things never change. So fill your plate and fill your drink and fill this house with family, the kind of love that all these years can't wash away. 'Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day.
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candy, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.
Try Peas and Carrots podcast for more encouragement. Brian and Kayla share life from their piece of the vegetable patch. Expect a laugh, find common ground, and hear stories you can't wait to share. It's a podcast about doing life together, growing in Christ together, and learning to laugh no matter what comes your way. Search Peas and Carrots podcast wherever you listen to podcasts today. Get quick encouragement on the go with your encouraging 5-minute podcast. It's a weekly dose of encouragement to start your week off right. Search your encouraging 5-minute podcast today.